Alright, our favorite bike is back, our Swift bike. So this one has the belt drive in here that's really loose and likes to break. So we're going to see what we can do about fixing that. BDL sent me a small or shorter belt, theoretically, the shortest one they had. And there's always production error in them things. So we're going to see if that's going to help us any, and if not, I'm going to swap out the inner primary to a different primary and see if that'll fix it. So one way or the other, we got to get the belt tension correct. We're just going to keep breaking belts off, which we don't want it to do. Get these power tools again. Alright. It said it was making noise in here, so there's some kind of a weird noise. I didn't know what it was. So let's see if there's any weird going on in here. Still has a belt in there. It's not all full of confetti. That's a good sign. Use gasket here that we don't really need. Appears to flatten out since I had it in there last. Alright, see, this is too loose. Look how loose that is. It's got like an inch of free play in there. That's twice what it was when we first put it in there. He's got just enough miles on this to ride it around, so he got probably 100 miles on this thing. That's pretty damn loose. Yeah. That is not good. Lots of slop. Alright, let's see what we can do about fixing that. These are tight. Just a little pressure on these things. That is way tight. How do those get so stinking tight? Ah, damn, that stings when it pops. That is way too tight. Damn. Definitely gotta make sure that's all the way in. I put the wrench right in the groove so it doesn't slide. twisting my wrench. Turn the motor over. Alright, so these three I got, these three here won't come loose. Alright, I'm going to try something different. We're going to try our zip gun. Wrong socket though. Find the right socket. Let's see this size bolt. Okay, so you want to get as short a sock as you can, Allen, less flex. Make sure it's got a good tip on it. I don't use these very often, that's why these are pretty good. Then we're going to put a 1/2 inch zip gun on the end of it to get lots of torque. So a big zip gun has a large hammer effect which will break things free. So you only want to give it just one quick blip, and that's it. See how it pops it? See that sudden jerk is what pops it free. That's all you need. Now this one here puts out over 150 foot-pounds of torque, and it just bounces back and forth because it doesn't have the heavy hammer action like the big zip gun has. It has this long length here that flexes well. So even though we went through an adapter, which makes it worse, the heavy force of the big gun will pop stuff free and not break it. Kind of what you don't think would happen, but that's real world what happens. So that's how you get stuff to come apart that don't want to come apart. You can also hit it with a big hammer, but it doesn't have the same effect. So, looks like I put Loctite on these, I think, last time. I probably torqued the snot out of the top of it, so I made it very, very tight. Clutch plates still look good. The interruptions already. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we're back. So I went and got my sockets I needed, getting this off. And I went and got the belt. So this is the belt that failed. It's delaminating in here because it's so damn loose, it's bouncing all over the place. So that was the one we had the problem with, and this has less than 100 miles on this belt. It came apart in 3 or 4 different places. So this is the belt they sent me, which is the shortest one. This is BDL. They went through all their stuff and sent me a belt. So they sent it for free too, which is nice. So BDL does stand behind their product halfway decently. They try to help you at least, more than most companies do these days. Okay, so to get the clutch plates out, I'm using a little scribe here. You just go in here like this and pull them on both sides, and they come out pretty easy. So you don't have to pick on it. If you lean the bike this way, it helps come out a lot easier, but the bike's strapped in, I can't lean it. I'm stacking them up here on the table the way they're coming out, so they'll go back in the same way. But if you're not sure which way that is, all your steel plates have a sharp edge and a dull edge. Stack them all the same way, whichever way it is. So in this case, this is dull on the outside, sharp on the inside, so I know that it came out this way and not this way. So you put them back in, just make sure you do it the same way. Last plate. Okay. That feels rough. Bearing's bad. Or something's bad. So watch how notchy my fingers are. See how they're notchy? See, it goes tight, tight. See how they go like that? That's the bearing. Bearing's not happy. The clutch is moving around a lot too. Look how much it's moving. Shouldn't be wobbling like that either. Looks like the bearing's already failing in the bike for whatever reason. We'll have to see. It doesn't want to slide off like it used to. As loose as you think it would slide right off. That's how it used to be anyway. I guess there's some texture to it now. It doesn't want to just slide. Nope. This stuff falls off at least. Go. Well, that's why it wouldn't slide. There's a back to it. That explains why it wouldn't slide. So you can see how we get almost no wear on anything. This slides off nicely, like it's supposed to. Okay, so this is the belt. See if there's any damage on the belt. Flip it around. See if there's any separation going on yet. Don't see any separation yet. Still looks like a good belt. Okay, so that one goes over here on the camera. Notchy in there. So this is spinning straight. That means the bearing in here is straight and true. See how the basket's wobbling like that? So that means either the splines are all out of whack or something else is happening. The washer on the inside looks like it's good. I don't see any wear on it. Not sure why it wobbles. No obvious tweak in the main shaft. Hard to tell why it's making noise. Okay, we're going to try this belt and see if it's any shorter than the last one. If it is, we can put it back together and once you pick up on the bearing. Obviously it's not the sweet spot on the shaft. That one there feels a lot better. So I tightened up quite a bit, but it's still, that's about where we started with the other one. It's not really any, not much better. It's going to be the same problem. So the new belt isn't the answer. The problem is the primary bearings are too close together, which makes everything loose. So that has not fixed anything. So new belt, no good. No improvement. Trying to find an improvement. Alright. So we gotta go ahead and pull the inner primary off now. See if that bearing's bad. There's some bearing that's not happy. I'm going to try a different inner primary. And hopefully we get one that's a little bit longer. I have one in stock that's made for this bike. Alright. So I got a bunch of stuff to take off. So I'm going to cut the video short for now. Basically I got to pull the jack shaft off. I'm going to pull the starter motor out. I got to disconnect the battery. Might have to pull the exhaust system off on the other side to get to the starter motor. Over here. Looks like I might have access to the starter motor, I hope. I don't have to pull it out, I just got to loosen it up. So it'd be just 2 bolts way up in on the inside in there. Right there. So, alright, I'm going to cut for a bit. We'll come back in a little bit.